All right, I'm gonna show you something you've definitely seen before. That's Dumbo, which stands for Down Under Manhattan Bridge Overpass, and it's one of the most iconic spots in the world. This has been photographed so many times, and it's the starting point for our 5-borough bike ride. New York City is so big, it spans 5 counties known as boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, and Staten Island, otherwise known as Shaolin. That's where we're gonna end up today because there's a place called Wu-Tang Street that the city actually sanctioned. And we have no shortage of side quests, including hiding this gift capsule that you guys need to find. I need to find a place in New York City where nobody's gonna find this until the video posts. I don't even know if that's possible. This is the 4th episode of Unbikeable in New York City. The last time we rode here, we were probably in high school.
Long time ago.
Turn left onto Front Street. Left onto Williamsburg Street.
I think we can just go.
Bike lane right there.
Yeah, bike lane's right there. These city bikes are everywhere, but you can't just leave them in the bushes. You have to actually put them back in the kiosk. A long time ago, I installed GPS tracking in those trucks. Probably a whole different fleet by now because it was probably 20 years ago. Thank you, sir. While we're in Brooklyn, I want to give you some interesting facts about the place. Did you know that if Brooklyn was a city, it'd be the 3rd largest in the USA? 2.7 million people, that makes it larger than Chicago. And this is just one of New York City's boroughs, and we're riding through it to get to Queens, the next borough. Being that we're in Brooklyn, it'd be rude not to stop at the next pretentious coffee shop we see and get some breakfast. Oh, there's Frenchie number 1. Oh, it smells like solid human waste. So these city bikes have been around forever. Now they're pedal assist, and I expect to be seeing a lot of these. One of my biggest fears in New York City is getting doored. That is, somebody opens up their car door, and then door becomes a verb. That's not gonna quite do it. I think we might have lost our opportunity to hit a pretentious coffee shop. Yeah, keep going straight and we're gonna get to a bike lane. All right, there's gotta be someplace great to get breakfast around here. You wanna check down that street or something and see if there's... Yeah, let's do it. Pizzeria, fried chicken, and halal for breakfast? Not my first choice. Hey, look, bakery and cafe. Doesn't look pretentious either. Can I just order some scrambled eggs? Thank you. Oh wow, that's the real deal. You ain't messing around.
Oh, one good.
So when you think of Brooklyn, you think of Coney Island, you think of brick buildings, brick oven pizza, Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z. But I think of Brooklyn as a place that I've hung out many times. Manhattan is a place that I've worked a lot of times, and that's the place with the big skyscrapers. We're making our way there. But on the way, we're gonna go into the next borough, Queens, and check out an important landmark there. Man, unless you're dropping somebody off here, I don't know why you'd want to deal with a car, trying to find parking, paying for parking. I guess one reason to drive a car here is if you're afraid of dying. But honestly, I don't know if it really improves your odds all that much. We'll get there quicker if we don't follow any laws. It should be up at the next light, right here. I think we gotta weave around. Not technically allowed to ride on the sidewalk, but when in Rome. There we go. We're good to go. This feels dramatically different from where we just were. All right, now this is kind of boring. We're on a bike path.
Turn left onto the path.
All right. We've gotten through Brooklyn and now we're in Queens at Flushing Meadows Park. Oh man.
To the path.
This is literally a walk in the park. What do you think compared to the giant eyeball, Scott?
I like it better.
This is a little bit cooler. This is the Unisphere. It's a 140-something foot tall globe with an entire map of the world on it, and it's made of stainless steel. It was built in 1964 for the World Fair, and it remains here in Queens. Queens is home to Simon and Garfunkel, it's home to Prodigy and Havoc of Mobb Deep, and it's the setting of the popular TV show, The Nanny. But Queens is also home to 2.4 million people, which would make it the 4th largest city in the USA, but it's just one of the 5 boroughs. This day could end up getting away from us pretty quick, so we gotta get moving through Queens to the next landmark. Oh, I hope they do it again. I hope they do a take 2. Yes, they're doing a take 2. Yay! Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, I got a bunch of them. Oh, okay. Yes! Citi Field. So that there is Citi Field. I've always known it as Shea Stadium, but I'm baseball agnostic. I don't really watch sports. But we're going to another stadium. We got to get all the way through Queens to get there. Can I give your Frenchie a scratch on the head?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
I've got one too.
Stella.
Hey, Stella! Oh, you're a cutie. All right, back on the bikeway. This is gonna be a long day, but at least we're not in a car. So keep in mind, if you've seen clips in New York City in movies, we are not in the crazy part yet. Oh, this is a nasty headwind. An e-bike would be feeling pretty good right now. We want to ride all 5 boroughs under human power exclusively. Oh, nice. Got an Instagrammer over here. Another city bike. It's even hard going downhill, it's so windy. So we're trying to touch all 5 boroughs with our bikes. I don't really know my way around very well, but we've been in 3 because right now we're in Manhattan. That's the craziest borough with the biggest buildings. But we're just passing through on our way to the Bronx, and then we're gonna come back down. That's 2 things on the handlebars down. What do you give our chances of getting it all done today?
50%.
We might not make it during daylight hours. We got lights. I think like, okay, this is 12 miles away. That should take us 45 minutes. But no, it's not gonna take that in New York City. There's twists and turns and lights and things in the way and block streets and everything in between. Everybody's on an e-bike except for us. Yeah, it wants us to make a left under the overpass. I often wonder if there's a better way to plan routes than to not plan. So I guess it's this for a while. Not bad. I could use a little break from the craziness. That's Boston, not a Frenchie. Ooh, catching a nice draft off this van. 2.7 miles from Yankee Stadium. I wonder how far they gotta push that. Is it wrong that I would have liked to help them, but I would have to leave my bike someplace? Okay. I planned this out like a month ago, and I couldn't tell whether it was gonna be windy or not. Wow, it is so freaking windy. Having trouble pedaling downhill. You know when the wind's so bad that you're leaning into it? Whoa! We could have chosen a better day, but at least it's not raining. It's always something. Right here, we're gonna make a left, and there it is. Scott, you ever been to a baseball game?
No, I haven't. Never.
I've never been to a baseball game either, but even I know that Yankee Stadium has hosted over 27 World Series. And I figured because it's such an important sports venue, if we're gonna touch the Bronx, I should visit here, turn around, and go back to Manhattan. And while you don't hear about the Bronx as much as you hear about Manhattan and Brooklyn, Bronx has a population of 1.4 million, making it larger than Dallas. This is, of course, the setting of The Bronx Tale, and I have lots of memories driving through the Bronx with the car doors locked. But to be fair, every borough has its good areas and its bad areas. Central Park, we'll just go to like the top of it. The longest 4 miles you'll ever go. We gotta get back to Manhattan, and we're gonna go to the first dirty old pizza place we see because we've gotta get moving. Check it out, there's a pizza place right there. Domino's. Wow, it just smells like a safety meeting everywhere in New York City now. There it is. There's the answer to all of our hopes and dreams. So 2 slices of cheese pizza. These are proper. That's what it's supposed to look like.
So good.
Nourishment.
Not a Frenchie, but nice little bully.
Oh, bird poop got in your hand? Dude, let's not let it get on our pizza. Ah, they're freaking right there. God.
Ah, look, more. More's coming down. Jump, run.
So a lot of people say that New York has such good pizza because of the water. That's actually not true at all. You can make good pizza anywhere if you know how to make it. It turns out they only know how to make it in New York.
I don't.
All right, we gotta get moving, go to Central Park to hide this thing for somebody, and then we're meeting up with a special guest. We're gonna unload some serious weight from this bike. All of a sudden, there's like trees and leaves and stuff. The infamous, I know I'm not talking about Mobb Deep, I'm talking about Central Park. We are here. Is it just me, or should we have brought mountain bikes to do all those mossy rock rolls?
Yeah.
So we made it to Central Park. This was one of the big items on the list because somehow there's just a gigantic park in the middle of Manhattan. Dude, there's some really good rock features in Central Park. I don't want to go straight goon out here, but it's pretty tempting. I think there's a line down that. All right, let's see if we can get down this thing and tell you guys a couple of facts. Oh, maybe I made a mistake here. Nah, smooth as butter. Central Park is right in the middle of Manhattan, and it is 843 acres. That's larger than the entire country of Monaco, which is a really, really small country. But in any case, it's still really, really big, but it's right in Manhattan. So when you're stuck in traffic and on elevators and just dealing with New York City, you can escape to Central Park and you can go for a bike ride or a jog, or you can even go into the woods and walk your dog. And it's the only place in Manhattan that I think there's any hope of me hiding something, which is what I have to do right now. Why did I choose an orange dry bag? Why? All right. Up there's Frenchie number 3. Way out over there. I can see a Frenchie from a mile away. It really is a nice park. If only because there's so many people in it. Like, there's nothing worse than a park that nobody uses. Okay. There are probably much woodsier parts of Central Park, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So, what is in this dry bag and why am I hiding it in the middle of Central Park? I'm hiding it in the middle of Central Park because one of you is gonna be able to find it. I'm gonna give you some clues, and what's inside it is the camera I've been using all day to shoot this adventure, the Insta360 X4. Right here you can see it's on the chest harness and it is in single lens action camera mode. I'm using it just like any other action camera you would attach to your chest. But the one that I am talking to right now is on an invisible selfie stick with a little tripod at the bottom, and it's in 360 mode. So you can see these ugly bushes over here, or that fence over there, or you can see me because it's shooting in every single direction. Now, what I love about the Insta360 X4 is that it's one camera to rule them all. You can walk around a city, you can go skiing, and yes, you can absolutely go mountain biking, mount it to your chest, or your chin, or you can use it for telling stories. As you can see, the sound quality is pretty good. We're in like 140-mile-per-hour winds today, but thanks to these little wind mufflers, it sounds just fine. When you're one person shooting an adventure yourself, you can't be everywhere at the same time, but actually, with the 360 camera, you can. And so instead of messing around with camera angles and trying to get the shot, you can focus on having an experience and then figure out how to share it later. And whoever gets this Insta360 X4 is going to be able to start creating immediately because I left everything in there that you could possibly need to get started, including a charged battery. To do this series, there's a lot of editing. I have to travel, so it's great to have a sponsor like Insta360 that makes excellent products that I actually believe in and I can actually recommend to you. So check the link below to see all of my camera gear, and thank you Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Okay, now to hide this camera. Scott said there's like a hole up there. Oh my God, there is a hole right here, hidden in Central Park. Okay, so let me show you the clues. Let's see if that works as a marker. I can't promise that will still be there. Okay, so look very carefully over here. Those are the buildings I can see. See? And then we walk back here, hopefully it's still there by the time I post this video. Right over there. Just looks exactly the same as all this. It's gonna be a miracle if somebody finds this, or it's gonna be a miracle if somebody doesn't find this. I'm not gonna lock up my bike in New York City. It's too nice of a bike. Scott, your bike is too nice to lock up in New York City, not for a long period of time, but we're gonna be right there where we lock it up, so you'll see. All right, 1.2 miles on the bike path. The ones driving the pedicabs, are those electric assist now? Yeah, Bafang mid-drive. Does this have electric assist? No, it's got a horse. It's so crazy how you just have this park and then skyscrapers right in front of you. It is totally nuts.
How are you?
Good to see you in the flesh, Eben.
You too.
So, Eben, as concisely as possible, if somebody hasn't seen you, what do you do?
I'm a bike blogger, which is an old-timey pursuit at this point, and I write a blog called Bike Snob NYC, and I just write about bike stuff, usually in a humorous fashion.
I know about Eben because I read his book years ago, and he's since been in a lot of YouTube videos concerning bike locking. We're gonna lock up our bikes and he's gonna roast our lock jobs because honestly, I don't lock up my bike very often. Not these days living in North Carolina, but I'm gonna do my best today with a little cable and a U-lock. First, I gotta find some place to lock the bike, preferably a place that's not like private property or something that you can just remove. That lamppost over there looks decent. We'll see. Okay, I changed my mind. I can't fit a U-lock around this.
You have to have one of those big ones you used to wear around your waist.
That pedestrian handrail is probably not the best place to lock it because people use it, but I'm gonna see how he rates me on this one. First of all, I know you're gonna take points off because I have like frame bags and all sorts of things that could be easily stolen off the bike.
That's an important lesson. You know, you need a bike you can strip down quickly. I'll pretend it's not there.
Yeah, but you're right. This is not good.
You're gonna come back, someone's gonna be living in that franchise.
Yeah. My logic is if I lock up just the back wheel through the rear triangle, there is no way they can take the bike without cutting through the rim. I've never locked this bike up
I'm gonna
before.
go ahead, I don't want to psych you out, but I'm gonna go ahead and say you picked a really bad spot.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Okay. Okay, it's locked up.
First, this is a faux pas. This is a bad place to lock a bike, not a courteous place. Little kids on scooters, someone's gonna clip this thing. You know, people see this and you're like, what schmuck put his bike here in the middle of Central Park? You know, the disadvantage of all of this was it took you forever to get it in here, but the good thing is there's not a lot of space. You have less space to put in a crowbar or something. These can be cut very easily.
Yes.
That said, locking the front wheel with anything is better than nothing.
I read Eben's book, Bike Snob, years ago, and he's still writing to this day. He still makes videos. And despite all that, I scored pretty poorly on this lock job because I've got the wrong bike and I locked it in the wrong place. It's getting dark and cold, and we have several places we have to go, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it during daylight hours. All right, it's a race against time. I do not want to be riding through Staten Island in the dark, but I think that's what we're gonna be doing. So on to the next landmark. Oh boy, I gotta put on some gloves. Oh wait, maybe we can go this way. Let's go out to the street. It's the world's smallest cop car. I think once we get into Times Square, we're gonna have to put on some lights.
May I take up a selfie with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm watching your YouTube channel and I'm loving it.
Take it easy. There it is. This is a freaking spectacle. Oh, there's a bike lane over here. That would have been a million times easier if we knew about this. Okay, we made it here, and we rode through on the complete wrong side of the road. I didn't know there was a bike lane on the other side. So we're gonna do another lap on Times Square just for the heck of it. Not that we have the time to do it, but we're here, so we're gonna do it. There we go. So that was an experience riding through Times Square. We rode it twice, once in the bike lane and once in the middle of the road. It's easier in the middle of the road in my opinion. But Times Square, of course, is in Manhattan. And despite being only 23 square miles, it is one of the most densely populated places in the world with 1.6 million people. Just Manhattan is larger than Philadelphia. Manhattan is also home to the show Seinfeld, Home Alone 2. Everybody's seen Manhattan, but it's getting late, it's getting cold, and there's another borough that we have to visit. Can't do it by bike, we have to get on the ferry. We gotta get to Lower Manhattan where the ferry leaves every 30 minutes, and it's free. You can bring your bike on it, no problem. And with a little luck, we'll be able to see the Statue of Liberty. Why anybody would want to take a car here is beyond me. Oh, this is sweet. Man, doing these videos in the summer is the way to go. It's 5:20 right now. So we've ridden close to 40 miles so far. We're almost done. All we gotta do is get on that ferry, go to Staten Island, ride to the Wu-Tang district, ride back, then ride all the way to Penn Station, then take a train back to Huntington, and then ride all the way back to my mom's house.
Yeah, that's it, like 4 more hours, that's all.
Staten Island Ferry. Hey, sir, that this way?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. You guys got?
All right.
So we're gonna wheel it on. That's it, a pup sniffed it and we're good to go. All right. So we walked in there, we had no idea what was going on. They treated us like royalty. The guy roughly told me to go over towards the door, a dog sniffed it, and we're good to go. We're waiting for the ferry. Yeah. My wheels are too big, I don't think they're gonna, no. I just went out there to try and get a shot at the Statue of Liberty, and they were like sustained 60-mile-per-hour winds. I hope it's not like that in Staten Island.
I hope not also.
The ferry will be docking shortly.
It's on. We're on Staten Island. We've officially ridden in all 5 boroughs in one day. That was one part of the mission, but there's something else we have to do. In any case, I'm pretty impressed with us. Not bad, dude. This is pretty sweet. There's a big bike ride that TD sponsors. It's called the 5 Borough Bike Ride, and there's a route. There are stations for water, and there's probably barriers and police and stuff like that. We just raw dogged it. So there's one last thing we have to do. Okay, this is the Wu-Tang district. It's not that far, 2.3 miles. Let's do it. Here we go. We are flying. Hey, let's draft this bus. See, you can just sit here and chill. Except it stops a bunch. Ooh, that is a mean headwind. All right, we're gonna make a right turn up here. Yo, this is it. Dude, we made it. We freaking made it. Look at that street over there. Look at that street sign. The Wu-Tang Clan district.
We guys ride around in Staten Island?
We actually rode all 5 boroughs today.
Today?
Every single borough. When did you get this?
5 months ago? Yeah. I already put 1,160 miles on it.
That's awesome. Is this the only borough you've ridden in with it?
I went actually to Manhattan.
To Manhattan, okay. Take it easy. In May of 2019, the intersection of Vanderbilt and Targhee Street was officially renamed the Wu-Tang Clan District. It's in Park Hill, Staten Island, and if you've listened to Wu-Tang, you've heard them mention Park Hill. This is otherwise known as Shaolin. And that concludes everything that was on my handlebars today. We wanted to get here, and we've officially ridden all 5 boroughs, or raw dogged them. We got New York City pizza, we got pooped on by birds, we hit a gift capsule in a hole. I'd say it's been a pretty good day. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me on these dumb, unbikeable adventures. Thank you, Scott, for once again coming on a dumb, unbikeable adventure with me. Thank you, Eben, Bike Snob, for roasting my lock job. And thank you, Insta360, for sponsoring this series. You make it possible. And if you guys want to check out any of my camera gear, I left a link below with everything I used in this video. When I was a kid growing up on Long Island, New York City was the only city that I knew about. And when I went to other cities, I'd look around and I'd say, where's the rest of the city? And so this place is near and dear to my heart, even though I moved as far away from it as possible, but still, it's a magical place. There's no other place like it. It was fun to come back. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.